Quinn, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And I thank you for inviting me to talk about the Rosary today, because that's a pretty special subject to me, talking about the Rosary and our Blessed Mother. So, in honor of this occasion, I have brought you a little Rosary.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll give you a case to put that in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Absolutely.
Why is the Rosary special?
Well, the Rosary is special because it's a prayer that Our Lady gave us herself to pray. Do you know about the children of Fatima? There were 3 little children that our Blessed Mother appeared to back 100 years ago. It'll be 100 years next year. And she asked the 3 children to pray the Rosary every day for peace in the world. And we need that today, right? We need peace. So the Rosary is a special prayer, but it's also a powerful prayer, not just because our Blessed Lady gave it to us, but because when we pray it, we pray to Jesus, but we're also praying with Mary. She's praying right along with us. So when we start praying the Rosary, our Blessed Mother starts praying too, and she's praying right with us. So that's pretty powerful, because Jesus hears just not our prayers, but he's hearing our Blessed Mother, his mother, praying too. So it's a pretty special prayer.
Why should families pray the Rosary together?
Well, we do a lot of things together as families. We share our vacations, we share a lot of good times, and we should share the things that are important to us too. We should share our faith, our love for God. And children, as they're growing up, they tend to copy everything their parents do. You know, they learn by copying their parents. They learn how to do all kinds of things by watching their parents. If their parents eat healthy and eat good and don't eat a lot of junk and snacks, then the children will probably grow up to eat healthy too, just like their parents. If their parents are people who go out into the community and volunteer and help the poor, then when the children grow up, they'll probably have those values too. They'll go out into the community and volunteer to do things. So if they see their parents love God and love Mary and love the church, love going to Mass on Sundays, then they're going to think that that's important. That's something that's important to them. And the Rosary is an important prayer, and it's important to honor our Blessed Mother. So if we pray the Rosary together and they see their parents praying the Rosary, then they're going to know that's important, and they're going to learn to love the Blessed Mother too. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because the Blessed Mother has promised a lot of things for people who say the Rosary every day. She made promises that she will give us grace, that she will help keep us from sin, that she'll lead us to Jesus, and that we'll go to heaven one day. And that's a pretty big promise. So that's a good gift for parents to give their children, to teach them to love Our Lady and to love saying the Rosary, because all of those promises of our Blessed Mother will be given to them. So it's good.
A lot of kids think the Rosary is boring and takes too long. What would you say to them to help them see it differently?
Well, anything that you do that you don't like to do, or that you're being asked to do and you don't want to do, is going to seem boring and long, like homework, or like doing chores around the house, or taking care of your little sister or something. If you don't want to do it, it's going to seem boring and long. So you have to learn about the Blessed Mother. You have to learn to love her. And then it takes 20 minutes to say the Rosary. So spending 20 minutes with somebody that you love, you could spend an hour talking to your girlfriends on the telephone. So 20 minutes to spend with our Blessed Mother is not so long, really. And really, if you don't want to spend the whole 20 minutes, or if you don't have time, you could just spend 4 or 5 minutes and just do 1 decade of the Rosary. Every night before you go to bed, if you just said 1 decade, in 5 days, you'd have the whole Rosary said. So it's not too long. But I think if you learn to love our Blessed Mother, and you know that when you turn to her, she's going to hear your prayers and she's going to take them to Jesus, that 20 minutes won't seem long at all.
When did you start praying the Rosary, and why?
I started praying the Rosary when I was a little girl, and I started because my parents taught me the Rosary. They both loved the Rosary. My father always said the Rosary. I remember him walking through the house with his black rosary beads hanging at his side as he walked through the house, or when he'd sit in his easy chair, he'd have his Rosary in his hand. And my mother always prayed the Rosary. Whenever someone was sick in the family, or she was worried about something, she would pray the Rosary to our Blessed Mother for help.
Do you have a special memory of praying this Rosary with your family?
I do. When I was growing up, as I said, both my parents loved the Rosary. So we would, during the months of the Blessed Mother, that's May, the Feast of Our Lady of Fatima is on May 13th. That's when she first appeared to the 3 children. And in October, that's a month of the Blessed Mother, because Our Lady of the Rosary's feast day is on October the 7th. So during those months, we would say the Rosary together as a family. We would all, after supper, we would all kneel in the living room in a circle, and we'd say the Rosary together as a family. And my dad would lead the Rosary, and we'd all follow. And he always made sure that when we said the name Jesus in the middle of a Hail Mary, that we always bowed our heads as a sign of respect to Jesus. So that was my first memories of saying the Rosary.
That's all the questions I have for right now.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, and I have a few other things for you here. Some information for you. First, I have a little brochure that tells you, do you know anything about the mysteries of the Rosary?
I don't think so.
Well, the mysteries, see, Mary's job is always to lead us to Jesus. That's what Mary does. She never takes any honor or glory for herself. She always leads us to God and leads us to Jesus. So the mysteries of the Rosary, every decade we say a different event in the life of Jesus and Mary. And these are all of them. There's the joyful mysteries, the luminous mysteries, the sorrowful mysteries, and the glorious mysteries. And they tell us all about the life of Jesus. So if you're going to do a decade before you go to bed, the first joyful mystery will be the Annunciation, when the angel Gabriel came to ask Mary if she'd be the mother of Jesus. So you think about that, and so it takes us all the way through the life of Jesus and Mary. So this is a couple of little booklets, one for you and one for your parents, on the mysteries of the Rosary. That's for you. And then sometimes it helps if parents want to teach their children the Rosary, if they have either a statue or a picture of Mary in their house to honor. And that's nice. So I'm giving you two pictures. One of Mary and one of Jesus, because Mary always leads us to Jesus, so we want Jesus right next to her. So when you're praying your Rosary, you can look at the picture of Mary and Jesus, okay? That's it. All right, thank you for inviting me today, Quinn. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming.